I want to tell you the hidden advantage of the gym that nobody talks about. It's something that has really helped me improve exercise selection and helped me get out of my own stuck ways to discover new exercises which had been better than the ones I had. This thing can improve your body by improving your workout split, exercise selection, even something small like using better attachments for certain exercises. All these benefits, and all it takes is one thing. You just have to open your mouth. Hey, it's a dude from Illinois that became jacked without having the perfect split or the most optimal diet. It's interops. And I want to tell you how one small thing has quarterbacked my success to achieve 1% lifts while being lean and a machine. I want to be honest with you, I didn't realize how strong this was until now. It's taken 5 years for me to realize how important this was. One of the biggest cheat codes in the gym is all around you. It's the people inside of it. I want to talk about my story and why I really felt like I had to talk about this. The reason why I felt like I had to talk about this is I looked at my history in the gym and everything that I ever had done, from workout splits to exercise selections to attachment choices. My split, the one I've been using for the last 3 years, recommended to me by a friend, multiple exercises shown me by other people, multiple things that I would have never ever seeked out, and I added them to my split, all because I looked at the people around me and I just talked to them and I saw what they were doing and I just asked this one phrase, can I work in? Next thing I knew, I had a new exercise in the selection and I had just advanced my optimization of my fitness journey. And that's all it takes, guys. I'm always a little bit stuck in my ways. I like to stick to my routine and I really like to deviate from it too much unless I really don't like something. So the only time I'll ever change something is when someone really shows me something. I just think about my fitness journey looking back now in the last 5 years. Anything good that I ever had or anything that really changed it was always from another person. Obviously, people didn't lift the weights for me, but they showed me the path to do it better. And that's all I need. For me, I'm the kind of person that if you just give me the opportunity, you give me the know-how, I'll give you the action. Trust me. There's one thing from what people on the internet say, but I feel like the gym is a better teacher than the internet could ever be. I always wanted to ask people and pick their brain. When it came to diet, when it came to fitness, exercises, I always wondered how people go about their own routines and going about working out and see how I could apply it to my own life. And that really helped me understand working out more and made me qualified to make me feel like that I could talk about this today. In reality, when it comes to working out, when it comes to sports, you're never going to figure out everything alone. You need a coach, you need help, you need people. And I want you guys to not try to lone wolf it. I just want you guys to use the advantages you have in the gym, which is all the other people around you. And not all the advice I ever got was good, and I never took action on all of it. I took what I thought was interesting to me, and I added it into my own split, and I did it in my own way. And next thing I knew, I was hitting 1% lifts and being proud of how I look in the mirror and being proud when I took off my pump cover at the gym, not being afraid to show my physique at the gym, but instead being proud and excited for the moment. And honestly, there's good parts to this, but there's also bad parts to this. It can be really dangerous. I want to talk about the dangers of listening to what people have to say blindly. In my opinion, the wrong advice can hurt more than it can help. Here's the thing. If you just listen to one specific person without checking them, here's the thing. People can give you bad form cues because they're not sure. They can maybe give you some ego-based programming. They might even give you overtraining advice, and they might try to squeeze you into a one-size-fits-all routine. They want to fit you into a box that's a triangle. You might be a square, you might be a circle, but you're not a triangle. Not everyone's a triangle, and some people are. You know what I'm saying, guys? Let's go. There's so much bad stuff out there, and depending on how the person looks, the bad advice might not be bad at first. And something that we don't realize in the gym is that some mistakes cost you months, and sometimes other ones could cost you joints. Guys, I want you to know that not everyone giving you advice has your best interest in mind. There's so much wrong advice there, and it could be so damaging for you in so many ways. Imagine if someone who you really like told you to hop on steroids, specifically steroids and any substances like that in terms of performance enhancing drugs. In my opinion, those are a huge red flag, and maybe some people have some reason why they would do them, but for me, it's a no-go, and I'll never do it. And I hope you guys can avoid those things too, to stay healthy and have the most optimal longevity you can for your life. If you're young, if you're 17, if you're 30, if you're 28 and you're wondering and you're thinking about getting a physique and you're thinking about getting a shortcut to improving your physique, sure, it might help temporarily, but think about your body when you're 80. Think about the long-term effects of that. Think about how your kids might be affected by the choices you make. Think about your hormones. Think about your overall health. I think there's so much things when it comes into that. Avoid people who might give you bad form advice, who might try to give you ego-based programming, try to make you overtrain, try to squeeze you into a box with a one-size-fits-all routine, and advice that might ignore recovery and long-term health. Rest is important. It's all important. So before you take advice, you need to vet the source. One of the rules that I'll follow is if they're not at least in the same shape as you or better, their advice doesn't really have any value, because if they haven't done it, then how can they tell you how to do it? And it's as simple as that for me. Don't look at someone who's maybe just shouting confidently. Look at someone's results. In my opinion, longevity is something that's super important in fitness. Your life isn't just your 20s. It's your 30s, it's your 40s, it's your 50s, it's your 60s, it's your 70s, it's your 80s too. If the person who you're asking for advice from can't explain why, They probably don't know what they're talking about and might just be quoting something they heard online. In reality, for me, results are always going to tell the truth. It tells me if what they're saying is true. Boys, I want you to know that confidence isn't always going to equal competence. I never want you to listen to someone and get bad advice and that could hurt yourself in the future or even temporarily. I never want any of you to get injured or make a decision that you can't take back. And that leads into a hard rule that I follow, boys. I never want you guys to take any advice from people on steroids. An enhanced physique is always going to change the recovery and workload. An enhanced physique is not the same as a typical physique. They're not living in the same biological reality as you. A guy on steroids, he doesn't live the same reality as you. His rate of progression is going to be accelerated. His recovery is going to be accelerated. It's completely different. It's like someone giving you Call of Duty advice when you're trying to get better at Halo. It's not the same game. That advice isn't relevant here. Here's the thing. It's not a bad thing to ignore someone's advice. You can still respect someone, ignore the advice. In my opinion, you got to naturally train. For me, people on steroids have a big tell. And for me, they're taking shortcuts and they don't have enough discipline to stick it out and get their goals through hard work and discipline straight up. They don't have the mental capacity, the mental fortitude and strength to do it normally. And for me, that's just something I can't respect. I never want to be that guy taking a shortcut. I don't mind working for my goals. I don't mind working for my physique. If anything, it's even better when you have to work for it. The things that come easiest usually come at a cost. Anything that comes easy isn't worthwhile. The best things always take a long time to get, whether it's finding your wife, getting the perfect financial situation, or getting that dream body, and anything else in between. In my opinion, once you filter out the noise, the good advice is really going to become obvious. All right, guys, you got to actually apply the good advice you receive. Listening is one thing, but you actually got to implement the tips that you get from your fellow gym goers. You don't got to apply every single change at once. Just try one change at a time and always track how your body responds. And I talked about tracking about workouts as well. It's so important. Some things you're going to try aren't going to work. Like for me, one time I was trying a deload week. I knew someone at the gym. They recommended I try a deload week. And a deload week is when you use lighter weights and do less sets in order to recover your body for a temporary period after exhausting with hard workouts and heavy sets and things like that, giving yourself and your body a week to relax. And I have heard about this, but I never really thought it would be worthwhile. But for the sake of science and for the sake of experimentation, I gave it a go. And overall, it didn't turn out to be for me. Imagine if it had been the thing that would have catapulted my success in fitness. Imagine if it was a hidden cheat code that I never knew. Imagine if it changed my life, all because I listened to this guy at the gym. The deload week for me just didn't happen to be one of them. And like I said, one size is never going to fit all. A deload week might work for you. It just didn't work for me. I just didn't notice a clear difference. So many times I've been in the gym, I've spoken with my fellow gym goers. Sometimes I'll just talk to them and I'll really just pick their brain. People who I respect and have been training for multiple years. I'll be asking about their diet, about their sleep, about cutting, about bulking, and everything in between, because I always want to know how to become the best version of myself I can physically. And when you get to talk to people who have already been down that road and been down that way, their advice is very valuable because they can give you insights that you wouldn't have to go and find out on your own. They can just give you the cold hard truth right there and then, instead of having to stumble and maybe fall. Maybe they're going to tell you something. Maybe they're going to try to help you to not make mistakes that they made, preventing you from doing something that they did, which cost them. And overall, you're going to be tripping over less in your fitness journey and just getting to the top as soon as possible when it comes to your personal happiness and when it comes to finally fulfilling those fitness goals of yours. And learning can happen anywhere. It's so important. You're always going to be a student. And even sometimes learning can happen in the middle of your set. All right, this is honestly the kind of practical tactic that I've been thinking about. I want you to work in with people. If someone's on a machine you don't normally use, dude, ask them to work in, especially if it's someone you know. Recently, a week or two ago, the thing that kind of inspired my idea for this video was I usually hit pec deck, which is a machine with two handles on your left and right, and you grab the handles and you squeeze inwards. You grab them, you squeeze inwards. My gym has about 3 of them, and there's one that I usually use, but all the machines that I wanted were all taken. So I asked him, do you mind if I jump in for a set? He's a guy who I know and I've spoken to many times, really nice guy. So he didn't mind. I asked him for tips on how to do the exercise. He was showing me, I gave it a go, and it was for your lower pecs. I'm going to be honest, I really never trained lower pecs. So when I did this exercise for a body part that I don't usually do, I learned about a new exercise. And honestly, this exercise felt great. And that was why I felt so compelled and so strongly to make this video for you guys, because in that moment, I realized that one of the cheat codes to improving your fitness is just asking people if you can work in. That one phrase, communicate it clearly. Don't say it in a nervous way. Mind if I jump in? Do you mind if I work in? That's always the one I use. I won't lie. I have my own like signature phrase whenever I ask anybody if I can work in with them. Ready? Here it is. This is what I say. You don't have to say. You could be a normal person. Just say, excuse me. Do you mind if I work in? Or how many sets do you have left? And do you mind if I work in? Something like that, right? But here's what I'll do. I'll walk up to people and I'll say, excuse me, boss. How many sets you got left? And they're like 2 or or they're like 1. And I'll say, do you mind if I work in with you? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. And then I'll just work in. I like to say, excuse me, boss, because it's just kind of like it's like a good phrase, like it's a kind of a compliment. You're calling them, you're like, excuse me, boss. Like it's like a compliment. It's good stuff. It's positive, good vibes. No one's ever going to feel mad at you if you just call them, if you call them something nice or if you give them a compliment. So many times I've worked in with people on exercises that I don't usually do. And I discovered a new exercise that I still use now. Exercises that I've learned from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even when I started my fitness journey, all because I just asked someone, can I work in with you? That's the practical tactic of the day. And the exercises that you get from people that you don't usually do could be the next one you're going to add to your split. And honestly, let's say you're hitting chest today, right? Let's say you're hitting chest and you want to hit a chest machine. You see someone you know on a chest machine. It's not one you usually do, but they're your friend and you've met them at the gym. So you want to go talk to them and you say, yo, do you mind if I work in with you? They're your friend. They're your boy. You see them at the gym. You guys talk sometimes when you go to the gym. They're always going to be, if you really met someone who's really nice at gym, they're just always going to be like, yeah, bro, I don't mind. Yeah. Why not just jump in real quick, do your thing, then try it. And if it's a good exercise, boom, you've gotten another step closer to achieving your fitness goals, all because you asked one question. For me, it's such a cheat code. It has so much value and it has so little input. How can you avoid that? How can you ignore that? For me, it's impossible. Good questions are going to open doors for you. And a lot of people will respect your effort and politeness just by you asking properly and you putting in that effort to improve. And even beyond that, variety matters. I've always been stuck in my ways and I want you guys to know it doesn't hurt to switch it up. I've been doing the same split for 3 years. It's not been broke, so I haven't decided to fix it. I track my workouts. So when I walk in the gym, I'm in to track the workouts. I'm doing exercise 1, exercise 2, exercise 3, exercise 4, exercise 5. I'm doing my business. I'm moving on. But sometimes on some days, the machine that I want is taken. So I'll usually find someone I know. And I've been coming to my gym for coming on 4 years now. So I know so many people there and I'll talk to one of them and I'll see what they're doing. Let's assume they're on something that I want to do that day. So like I said earlier, they're doing chest. I want to do chest, but it's not a machine I typically do. Who cares, man? It could be the next thing to improve you. I think the machines you ignore, they might even solve some of your weak points. And here's what's really great, in my opinion, the different stimulation you can get from doing the different exercises and things like that are definitely going to prevent your stagnation. Because like Arnold Schwarzenegger once said, you got to shock the muscle. If you let the muscles just get used to what you're doing over and over again, you're conditioning them. Your gains might even stagnate a bit just because they're getting used to it, right? And then your body's ready for it. It's not a new challenge. It's not a new thing. I think you always got to update your split. You always got to give it a little challenge. New movements are also going to challenge your coordination, that mind-muscle connection. So there's so many benefits to new movements. And honestly, your comfort zone isn't going to build your body. Your growth is going to live outside the routine. And honestly, my fitness program, which has gotten me crazy results, gotten me to the 1% only at the age of 19, has shown me that the best programs and workout splits will always evolve. They never stay stagnant. So here's kind of the real lesson, maybe some takeaways, guys. I want you guys to know something. I'm not the kind of person who gives fake solutions and promises real results while hiding what really works. I want you to be in the best physical condition that you can be in. And while you're playing the game, I'm going to give you the cheat codes to getting a physique that's turning heads and crushing PRs if you want to do that. I don't want you to be scared of people at the gym. You guys are all there to grow together, and the biggest guys have always been the nicest in my experience. There's a few bad apples in the good batch of people who want to work out, but you and me aren't one of them. We're just trying to be our best in this crazy world. It's been interops, and the inner desire for success decides the outward operations to achieve it.